This is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing at 4961 Cindy Avenue out here in Carlsbad. Starting my digital inspection. We're on top of an architectural asphalt shingle roof. Now this is a lower slope roof. We've got some water issues coming along the edges of this roof. And I want to point something out. I've got a feeling this is what's happening. So we can see how these shingles are kind of starting to curl up on this edge, and you can see how everything kind of just ponds right here. That's creating almost a little valley right here. So I pulled this up and you can see we have drip edge, but the drip edge goes somewhat in a downward angle, and you can see how water and you can see all the watermarks that are underneath it. So I feel like water is kind of getting stuck right here in this section. It's getting caught behind this drip edge and it's making its way down the siding. So I don't think this is something that's going to stop anytime soon. I think what we can do for this homeowner is, if we remove these rows of shingles, we can then install a titanium peel and stick underlayment on this section to try to stop this problem from happening from going on any further. But I believe this is what's happening just based off of visual inspection. We can also see the amount of fiberglass that's showing through on this product. You can see how shiny this roof is. So on an asphalt shingle roof, when the oil starts to evaporate on the product, the granules then start to deplete. So every time it rains, water kind of washes those granules off, and they end up in areas where the water accumulates. So you can see all these granules that are just kind of accumulating in this section. And as those granules deplete, the fiberglass becomes exposed, and now the waterproofing is greatly affected on this property. So that's a telltale sign that the product is starting to go past that life expectancy. The other issue I'm seeing with this roof is that it is such a low slope roof. That water doesn't flow as freely off of it as it should. What we need to install is a layer of titanium peel and stick underlayment on this roof, which is a thick, sticky, self-adhesive product that goes directly to the decking. And that would definitely help with a lot of these issues that you're having. But you can see how all the water just kind of accumulates along the edges here. The other portion that's standing out to me is we have these O'Hagan vents, and since this is such a low slope roof, these O'Hagan vents lay pretty flat. And so when water comes on this roof, it's really easy for water to come back underneath. It's really easy for water to just accumulate on the back side of this as well. So, this is a newer roof. The roof isn't too old. It has drip edge on it. It does have felt underlayment, which isn't something that I would typically see on a roof that's only 10 years old or so. So it tells me that's a little bit older than that. But the product itself is still in pretty decent shape. It shouldn't be leaking the way that it is. But I do see problem areas coming around these O'Hagan vents, and I do see problem areas coming around the edges of the roof as well. You can see that the penetrations are still in good shape. The sealing around the penetrations is fine. Some of these penetrations, they could use a little additional sealant around it, but it's nothing that's majorly concerning on this roof. My only concern is really just along the edges and the type of underlayment that was used on this roof in the first place with the shingle roof. Again, we want to ensure that water flows freely off a roof like this, and if it doesn't, we want to make sure that we have the proper underlayment underneath it. That's going to help protect it. So for now, what I would suggest the homeowner looking into is going ahead and just upgrading the edges of this roof, because it is going to continue to leak from what it looks like all the way down here. Also, they have the opportunity to obviously redo this roof. If they're moving into this home and they don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, this would be the time to do it, just to ensure that the roof is properly waterproof with the correct underlayment. We can keep this shingle look, but we just want to make sure that if water is going to accumulate in certain areas, that it's not going to penetrate the structure itself. That's it for my inspection.